All right, today we're going to tackle a piece of law that really truly changed the internet in Europe, the EU Copyright Directive. It's complicated, it was definitely controversial, and it was designed to be a whole new rulebook for our digital world.
And that quote right there, that's really the heart of the matter, isn't it? The way we all find, share, and create stuff online, from streaming music and sharing news to making memes, has just completely exploded. The old copyright laws, well, they just weren't built for this.
So, this is the massive question the European Union was trying to answer. For years, things were just messy. There was this huge legal gray area for literally everyone, from you and me to individual creators, all the way up to the biggest online platforms.
And so, this directive was the answer. It's a really ambitious plan to create one single copyright framework for the entire EU, trying to level the playing field and bring the rules into the 21st century.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at why this update was even needed. Then we'll dive into the new rules for research and education, what it means for online news, and of course, the big one, platforms and user content. After that, we'll see how it's supposed to create more fairness for creators and what this whole new copyright marketplace is supposed to look like.
So, first things first, why go through all this trouble? Let's get to the core problem this whole directive was actually designed to fix.
The new rules actually kick off by unlocking knowledge for some really important places, like our universities, libraries, and museums.
Okay, first, we've got to get our heads around this key concept, text and data mining. Basically, think of it as using powerful computers to automatically read and analyze massive amounts of digital info, like thousands of scientific papers or entire historical archives, to spot patterns and discover new things. It's an absolute powerhouse for modern research.
And here's the crucial part. The directive creates new, mandatory copyrights exceptions all across the EU. This is a big deal. It means research groups can legally perform text and data mining on stuff they already have access to. It means teachers can use copyrighted works to illustrate a point in class as long as it's in a secure digital space. And it means libraries and museums can finally make digital copies to preserve our shared cultural heritage. These are huge practical changes.
Next up, we've got one of the most hotly debated parts of this entire directive, what people often call Article 15. This creates a brand new right, and it's all about helping news publishers in the online world.
So, here's the deal. This new right lets news publishers ask for licenses when their content is used by services like news aggregators, and importantly, it makes sure journalists get a fair slice of that money. But, and this is a big but, what it doesn't do is just as important. It doesn't affect you sharing an article with a friend, it doesn't ban linking to stories, and it doesn't apply to very short extracts or just a few words. And that is a really key distinction.
And this protection? It's not a forever thing. It only lasts for 2 years after an article is published. It's a window of time designed to protect the value of new journalism without, locking up information forever.
Okay, now we get to the one that got everyone talking, Article 17. This is the part of the law that completely rewrites the rules for major online platforms and the responsibility for the stuff that we, the users, upload. Now, the law is really specific about who it's aimed at. We're not talking about your personal blog or a small business website. This is targeting the big, for-profit services whose main business is to host and push out huge amounts of user-uploaded content. You know the ones. Think of the major video sharing sites and social media giants.
This right here? This is the legal game changer. For a long time, these platforms were protected by what are called safe harbor rules, which meant they weren't really liable for what users posted. Well, this directive flips that script. It says that by making the content available, the platform itself is responsible, and therefore, it has to get the right permissions from copyright holders.
So if they're now on the hook, how do they operate? Well, to avoid being liable for stuff they don't have a license for, platforms have to prove they did these 3 things. Step 1, they have to make their best efforts to actually get a license. Step 2, if a copyright holder gives them the right info, they have to use best efforts to make sure that specific content doesn't get uploaded. And Step 3, they have to act fast to take down infringing content when they're told about it and make their best effort to keep it from being re-uploaded.
But here's the other side of that coin, the crucial balancing act. To calm everyone's fears about so-called upload filters just blocking everything, the law explicitly protects our rights to create content for things like parody, criticism, or review. So yes, this means your memes, your video essays, your reviews, they are all legally protected.
Okay, so moving beyond the big companies, the directive also tries to get a much better deal for the individual creators, the authors, musicians, and performers who are often in the weakest position when it's time to negotiate.
At the heart of it all is this simple but really powerful idea. The directive states that creators have to get fair pay that actually reflects the economic value of their work when they sign it over to someone else.
And this isn't just a nice thought, it's backed up with real tools. First, there's a transparency rule. Creators have the right to get regular, clear reports on how their work is doing. Second, there's a contract adjustment tool, sometimes called a bestseller clause. If a work becomes a massive hit, the creator can go back and ask for a better deal. And finally, a right of revocation. If a publisher isn't doing anything with a creator's work, the creator can get their rights back.
So we've looked at all these different pieces, for education, for news, for platforms, for creators. What does it all add up to? What's the grand vision for this whole new copyright marketplace?
Ultimately, the goal is to rebalance the scales. The idea is that by making sure creators are paid more fairly, making platforms more accountable, and clarifying the rules for everyone, you can build a healthier and more sustainable digital world for creativity to thrive in.
Look, this directive is a massive, landmark effort to basically recalibrate our entire digital world. And the debate over whether it actually strikes that perfect balance, well, that debate is still going on as these rules get put into practice. And that, I think, is the central question it leaves us all with.